Just 20 years ago, it was a cow paddock, but it grew and kept on growing until April 18, when Geelong and Fitzroy played the inaugural match at VFL Park. People complained bitterly that money was being wasted on a stadium out in the sticks. But on this day, more than 25,000 fans made the trip to Waverley to see the opening. Although Geelong beat Fitzroy by 61 points, the real winner was the vast new complex.
He's already kicked one goal this quarter, and this one's right through the middle, and it's another goal.
A fortnight after the great stadium was opened, another giant of the game bowed out. Despite the smiles, it was a bitterly sad day for Ted Whitten as he donned that famed number 3 Guernsey for the 321st and last time. For 20 years, he was regarded as the most complete player the game had seen.
You do or die effort. It's got to be a determined bit. You've got to show me all the guts and all the determination you've got in your body. You've got to inspire me with this last quarter bit. You've been in front all day and you've got to stay there. Are you going to sit there?
His players responded to the call and went on to give Footscray's most beloved son a farewell to remember with a 3-point win over Hawthorn at the Western Oval. The king of the western suburbs, Mr. Football, had abdicated. A new champion was taking centre stage in 1970. He hailed from Perth, and North Melbourne had to sign a $75,000 bond before they gained his services. The Roos had a miserable year, but Barry Cable was the club's best player.
One up to the half-forward flank. Bremner comes right out from goal. And
tribunals were held at Harrison House in those days, but the guest list had a familiar ring to it. Big Carl got off this time. On the receiving end was Hawthorn's Neil Ferguson.
He's gone for a short pass. It's a lead. It was a lead by one.
Geelong's Doug Wade got a nudge in the stomach from Footscray's Ken Greenwood, and 2 weeks for slapping his face.
And it's very trying for the players. From the centre bounce, the to get the tap down towards me.
And then it was Big Carl yet again. He got 4 weeks for biffing the hapless Greenwood. Ditteridge made a 3rd appearance that year and got 2 weeks for using abusive language. For the first time in league history, 3 full forwards topped the century mark in the one season. A sparse crowd saw Peter Hudson bring up his 3rd 100 on July 18. He kicked 11 goals against Footscray at VFL Park and was to go on and kick 146 goals for the season in a team that finished in 8th position. Meanwhile, at Victoria Park, Peter McKenna was having a field day against Carlton. And how that huge crowd loved it. McKenna had kicked 97 goals in 1969, but this day against the Blues, he was in superb touch.
He kicks it high into the goal square. They fly down to the ground. It comes.
With this goal, he brought up his century, becoming the first Collingwood player to do so since Ron Todd in 1939. McKenna went on to kick a club record of 143 goals for the season.
Now been looking for Jesselenko.
And on the eve of the finals, it was Jez's turn.
Jesselenko waiting for the Travellers.
Alex Jesselenko became the first Carlton player ever to reach the 100-goal mark. He was in fine form this day against Melbourne on the MCG, the ground on which he was to dominate in a most memorable September.
Kick back into play, straight towards Jesselenko, and there it is, 99.
South's Peter Bedford won the Brownlow medal from Gary Dempsey, Jezza, and the newcomer Barry Cable. And for the first time, the count was televised live on Channel 7. Early in September, however, all eyes were on Norm Smith's Swans in the first semi-final against St Kilda. South had made the finals for the first time since 1945 in the infamous bloodbath grand final. Bedford shone in a year that saw Des Tuddenham and Len Thompson go on strike at Collingwood over match payments. Both were to get $7,000 contracts, but it cost Tuddy the leadership. There were players' strikes at Essendon. The Queen unfurled Richmond's premiership pennant and saw her first Australian football match. And Fitzroy crossed the Yarra and settled at the Junction Oval. For South, this match gave them just a taste of finals football. It was a year memorable for these great marks.
Over the back, Roger Dean, a bit over to Lambert. Lambert kick goes into the centre of the ground. Oh, mark! Terrific mark.
He's playing well. O'Day, a good kick to the wing position on the outer side. Oh, the old cowboy. Quarter.
Read the time on.
The kick taken by Ronaldson. It's a long one to the edge of the goal square. Up they go. Scarlett. Oh, a beauty with the ball. His kick now going down forward. There. Jesselenko, look at that.
Pennell Breaks right across that centre wing position up towards Jackson and Lewis. Jackson rode Lewis all the way. How beautiful. He plays on. His kick in towards the half-forward.
Beautiful. And Robertson was there to get it. Jesselenko looking for that lead. The kick down. Jesselenko comes in, goes up. Beauty! Oh, what a mark. The ball taken by Crane of Carlton. Crane drives in towards centre half forward. Jackson.
Yes!
Yes.
I didn't think he was going to pay it, Mike. He was spot on.
Mackay to the wing position on the member stand side. Oh!
Let's enjoy this mark of Alex Jesselenko's again. It was the mark of the year in 1970 and one of the marks of the 70s. Ted Hopkins had been assigned a bit part in the 1970 Grand Final. He ended up taking star billing in front of a record crowd of 121,000 people. In one of the greatest fightbacks in VFL history, Carlton recovered from a 44-point deficit at half-time against Collingwood to snatch the game. Hopkins had been a reserve, but at half-time he was thrown into the fray. He kicked 4 goals, wrote his name into the game's history, and was hardly heard of again.
Fantastic. There's the kick.
Fate had robbed Bobby Rose and the Magpies yet again. For the mastermind, Carlton coach Ron Barassi, it was to be a move that has made his name legend in coaching.
It's happened again to him, and nobody could be sorrier for Bob Rose than the three of us up here.
A lot of people think that Carlton's revival began with that second half. Nick and the players, and we all agreed that we felt just in the last 5 or 6 minutes of the first half we were starting to get more of the ball. It wasn't showing so much on the scoreboard because we had such a leeway to make up. But
it really started at half-time when Brass, amongst other things, just sort of ran into us, just play on handball. Look, no, we can't be any worse. We just got to try something, and that's really when it started. Plus Teddy Hopkins.
We seemed to panic a little bit, and looking at the replays over the years, I've noticed that many of our players flew together and spoiled each other, and the ball came to the ground. And this suited the style of game that you were playing at that time with the handball.